Hello. So
Yes,
today's
sir. Hello.
topic is hello. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay.
Okay. That's just like a find command. Find table class. Means system is developed by sorry developed JE and J2E and J2SE and J2ME like this. Okay. So at that time the owner of Java was Sun Microsystem. That time we called it J2E, but currently Sun Microsystem is a subsidiary of Oracle. So currently we know it as a JEE, Java Enterprise Edition. Okay, so I think you know that Java and Edition. Okay, the next is a Enterprise. Enterprise means business. If you want to develop any business for if you want to develop any software for business purpose, we use JEE or J2E, Java Enterprise Edition. So you can say what is the meaning of business purpose. So actually, suppose we want to start a business from our home. So our colony members can contact with us if we will start a business in marketplace, so more than one colony members can contact. We can interact with us. Okay, but suppose we will develop a website, a web application, and host on the internet. So from whole world, any member, any person can interact with us. That is a beneficial for our business. So same thing here, if we want to develop a web application or website, so we use JEE or J2EE. Okay. So if you want to access any website or any web application we have, so we have need HTML earlier Java Enterprise Edition. So you can say what is the meaning of business purpose. So actually, suppose collection of J2E, Java display on the screen. Okay. Sorry, developed JE and J2E and J2SE and J2NE like this. Okay, so at that time, the owner of Java was Sun Microsystem. That time we called it J2E, but currently Sun Microsystem is a subsidiary of Oracle. So currently we know it as a JEE, Java Enterprise Edition. Okay, so I think you know that Java and Edition. Okay, the next is a enterprise. Enterprise means business. If you want to develop any business for if you want to develop any software for business purpose, we use JEE or J2E, Java Enterprise Edition. So you can say what is the meaning of business purpose. So actually, suppose we want to start a business from our home. So our colony members can contact with us if we will start a business in marketplace, so more than one colony members can contact, we can interact with us. Okay, but suppose we will develop a website, a web application and host on the internet, so from whole world any member, any person can interact with us. That is a beneficial for our business. So same thing here, if we want to develop a web application or website, so we use JEE or J2EE. Okay. So if you want to access any website or any web application, we have need internet. Okay. And we can compare internet with books library. Okay. So in books libraries are a collection of different types of books on different topics, same as internet is a collection of web application or websites. Okay, each book is a collection of pages, same as websites are collection of web pages. Okay, we have two types of page: book page like magazine page, a newspaper, just like, and copy page. Same as in web pages, there are two types of pages: static page and dynamic page. Okay, book page only for reading purpose. We cannot input anything. We cannot update. We cannot delete. We cannot perform any other operation in book page. Only reading purpose. Okay, same as static page. Static web page. Okay, static web page only we can use for reading purpose. We cannot modify. We cannot delete. We cannot uh, input anything. Okay. For example, any tutorial or Wikipedia. These are the example of the static pages. Second is a copy page. Copy page is a just like copy. We can input anything. We can write anything. We can drawing anything. We can uh, update, delete, uh, any operation we can perform in copy page. Same as dynamic page. We can perform each and every operation. We can input, we can read, we can update, we can delete, we can perform all operation in dynamic pages and dynamic web pages. Okay. If we want to develop a static page, we have need only the HTML and we can develop a static page. Okay, we have not need to require any other thing. But if you want to develop any dynamic page, so we have need HTML plus any backend language, like we can use Python, we can use Java, we can use .NET, we can use PHP, we can use any other backend language. But we are Java developers, so we use Java in the backend. Okay, so if you want to develop a dynamic page, we use HTML plus Java we will use. Okay, next thing. So that is the difference between static and dynamic pages. Okay, the first difference between static and dynamic pages. Second thing, the website and web application works on client and server architecture. Okay, we have need a server, we have need a client. On the basis of this concept in architecture, we can perform the, we can access the any website. Okay, so suppose here we have two systems. Suppose we have two systems. Okay, this is system one, system one, and this is system two. Okay, and we connected both systems with a network. We can use LAN, MAN, WAN, internet, anywhere. We can use, we can connect with both systems with internet, with network. Okay, so which one system will call as a server, which one will call as a client? Okay, so client, what is the first question will arise? What is client and what is server? So this is a client, server architecture. Client server architecture. So our website, web application work on the because of this architecture, client server architecture. It follows client server architecture. Okay, so suppose we have two systems, system one and system two. So which one will work as a client and which one will work as a server? So actually, server is service provider and client is a service consumer. Okay, this is a layman definition. But actually, uh, all works if you want to using mobile, you are using laptop, anything. All our system are working on the basis softwares. The same here. If you will install a system software, a server software in system one, so system one will work as a server. If you will install a server software in system two, so system two will work as a server. If you will install a client software in system one, so system one will work as a client machine. If we will install a client software in a system two, so system two will work as a client. Okay, so mostly, mainly, I want to say, totally we work on the softwares. So which software we will install in which system, that system will work as a client or server. So first question we arise, what is a client software and what is a server? So actually, suppose we want to send a request for we are using internet and we want to send a request for any page. Like suppose we want to send a request for Facebook. So we will use a web browser. Web browser is client software. Through the this web browser, we can send the request to server, and server receive that request, and according to request, it will respond us. Okay, the same here. You can see this web browser like Chrome, like Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, and Firefox. These are the example of client software. Through this software, we can send the request to server. Okay, the internet server. Okay, second thing, what is server software? So we have two types of uh, server. First is a web server, and second is a application server. Okay, we have two types of server: web server and uh, application server. If we want to create a dynamic page, okay, so we have need HTML plus Java. If you are using Java, so Java provides us servlet or JSP. Okay, to the servlet and JSP, we can create the dynamic page. Okay, so here web server have web container, and web container have servlet or JSP engine. It execute the servlet and JSP. So web server है web container, web container है JVM. You can say JVM, and JVM execute the servlet and JSP. Okay. If you want to develop a JSP page, so Java dynamic page, so we will use servlet and JSP. Okay. Here in we, application server have web container plus EJB container. Okay, EJB enterprise Java page. So application server is more powerful than web server. Application server have a web container plus EJB container. Means we can execute servlet and JSP and EJB also. So to the web container, because web container contains servlet and JSP. So JSP engine, so we can execute servlet and JSP. And here application server also contain EJB container. So we can also execute the EJB application. Okay, so application server is more powerful than web application. Suppose you want to you are getting the different types of notification on your mobile, you are getting different types of mail on your Gmail account. So this is the possible with the help of application server. Like suppose you are working any company, so company provide you a company ID. Okay, like suppose my I'm belong to CTS, so cognizant.com. We have a website, sorry, ID. So same as if you want to develop this type of ID, email ID of your according to your company, so we use application server. Okay, so application server is more powerful than web server. Okay, but we have need to execute only servlet and JSP, and for the execution, web container is responsible to execute servlet and JSP, and web server have web container. So if we have web server, we can execute the servlet and JSP. Okay, second thing here, web server. There are different multiple web server like Apache Tomcat, Apache, Apache Tomcat, Design, Jetty. These are the example of web server. Okay, and application server like JBoss, Wave, Sphere, WebLogic, Glassfish. Okay, so these are the example of application server. But mostly we have application servers are paid paid server. Okay, so but here Apache Tomcat, Data, and these are the open source. You can download directly from the internet and we can use it. Okay, and the application server also we can download from the internet and we can use, but only for practice purpose. We can use the application server if you want to use for business purpose or professionally. So it will be paid. But Apache Tomcat all time it is open source. At the time of hosting, it also at that time it will open source. Okay, so mostly developer prefer Apache Tomcat, and IDs also support the Apache Tomcat because Apache Tomcat is a open source server all time. Means at that time of practice, or if you want to host your web application or website on the internet, at that time also it will open source. So mostly developer prefer Apache Tomcat. But here, like JBoss provide a JBoss community providers, JBoss application server. WebSphere, IBM providers a web server, WebSphere, Oracle providers WebLogic, and Glassfish, Sun Microsystem providers Glassfish. Okay, so these are the server. Okay, okay, so now here you can see, suppose we want to send a request from the web to the web browser. So here we send the request, like suppose here, suppose the user send a request, we can send a request to our system. Okay, that request, suppose this is client software, client machine, and this is server. Okay, so we can send any request, like suppose here to the web browser, we can send the request. So type here URL and press enter. Next, we can send the request. Okay, so here we can send the request to the HTTP protocol, hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, so through the, if you send a request, that will transfer from the client machine to server to the HTTP protocol. Okay, and server check which type of request received from the client side. If it receives the request for static page, so all static pages are already exist in the server. Okay, that is already saved in the server. So if you will send a request for a static page, the server only search that page and download on the client machine, and web browsers display that page on the screen. Okay, so if we are sending a request for a static page, so it is very simple. We can use web browser and we can type the URL and press enter, and that request reached transfer from the client's machine to server through the HTTP protocol. Server receive that request and check which type of request received from the client side. If it received a request for static page. So all static pages are already exist in the server. Server only search that page and download on the client machine, and web browser display that page on the screen. Okay, that is the working of the static page. But suppose you will send a request for dynamic pages. So that all dynamic pages does not exist in the server. Okay, server develop that page at the runtime, at the request time. If user send a request for any dynamic page to server at that time, develop that page and provide to client, and web browser display on the screen. Okay, like suppose here, suppose we want to send a request for here, suppose here we are sending the request for Facebook. So it will reach at Facebook, and this page is already exist. So server download that page on the web client machine, and web browser display on the screen. After that, we can put here any and click on login. Like suppose create a new account. Okay, password it's shown here. the password that have entered in is incorrect. Okay, so we can send a request. Here you can say this. We send the request for any page, static or dynamic page. Suppose uh, we transfer, we send here username and password and click on login. So user and password transfer from the client machine to server. So this is the responsibility of server to check that username and password are incorrect or correct. Okay, but server cannot capable to develop a dynamic page. Okay, so for this purpose, suppose we will send a request for dynamic page. So dynamic page, this is responsibility of server to develop a dynamic page and according to request and provide to client machine and web browser display on the screen. But server is not capable to develop any dynamic page. For this reason, server reside a helping program. Helping program in the machine. Okay, so if you send a request for dynamic pages, server transfers that request to helping program. A helping program develop that page according to request and provide to server, and server download that page on the client machine and web browser display that page on the screen. Okay, so here server cannot is not capable to develop any dynamic page. So for this reason, that's why server reside is helping program. Like suppose we cannot build our home, we cannot stitch our cloth. So we have tailor, we have labor that developed our home or tailor stitch our cloth. Same as server cannot develop a dynamic page. So the server reside a helping program, okay, and provide the that request according to receiving request, provide to transfer to helping program develop that page and provide to server, and server download that page on the client machine and client machine display on the screen with the help of web browser. Okay, so that is the way. Suppose here you can say here, suppose we send a username and password, okay, for logging purpose. So that value is transferred from the client machine to server. And this is responsibility of server to check that username and password are correct or not. But server cannot check it. Server is not capable to check that username and password are correct or incorrect. So server transferred that values like username and password to helping program. Now that is the responsibility of helping program to check that username and password are correct or not correct. So then helping program uh, how to check the helping program that username and password is correct or not correct, because helping program have not any data. It cannot check username and password are correct and correct and incorrect. So for this reason, helping program connect with database and check that username and password are already exist or not in the database. If that username or password is exist in the database, so server take next action and display the next page, or take the next action actually. Okay, if suppose that username and password are not exist in the database, then server display a message just like means username and password is incorrect or incorrect or correct. Okay, like suppose username and password are not exist in the server, then it will show a message the password that have entered is incorrect. Okay, so here this is very simple. If we will send from a username and password from the client side, the server check, server is not capable to server transfer that data to helping program. Helping program cannot check it because helping program have not any data. So it will connect with database and check that username and password is already exists or not in the database. If exists, then it will take next action and display the next page. Otherwise, it will show a message the username and that username and password are incorrect. Okay, so that you will get a message on increase that the username and password is incorrect. So that is the whole process of a dynamic page. Okay, so here you can say This is the all components of your web application. If you want to divide this whole application in three parts, this is the first part, this is the second part, and this is the third part. We can divide the whole component in three parts. First part is called presentation tab. Second is called application tab, and third is called database database tab. Okay, we can divide the all component of a web application in three parts: presentation tab, application tab, database tab. Here, if you want to develop Java helping program, we use Servlet Java. If you are using Java, means we will use Servlet or JSP. Okay, if you want to develop and in application tab, we have need server and helping program, and we develop helping program in Servlet or JSP. We are using Java, so we will use Servlet or JSP. And in presentation tab, there are a lot of uh, presentation tab.
Sir, one question just
Yes,
so is why server not capable to create a dynamic page like server does not have the Java servlet or something?
yes.
Okay.
Server only fetch the pages and download on the client machine. Cannot develop any page.
Okay.
Okay. So here presentation tab, application tab, because there are a lot of languages, Node.js and C Sharp, Python, PHP, and a lot of languages. So server cannot store the all languages data. Okay. So if you are using Java, so we will save Servlet JSP. If you are using .NET, so we'll save the C Sharp program in the server that will develop the dynamic page. If you are using PHP, so PHP program you can save in the server. If you are using Python, so you will save the Python program in the server that will develop the dynamic page. Database tab. If server be capable to develop a dynamic page, we cannot use of Java, .NET, PHP, Python, any other language. We have not need of this. If HTML provides us the dynamic page, so we have not need to any other language like Java, .NET, PHP, C sharp. If HTML be capable to develop the dynamic page. Okay, so here we can divide the whole component in three broad: presentation tab, application tab, and database tab. Presentation tab, we can use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Angular, React, image, audio, video, animation. We can do a lot of technologies in the front end to develop presentation tab. Okay, as you like, you can use anything in presentation tab. Okay, but in application tab, you can use any backend language like Java, like .NET, like PHP, like Python. You can use any language, but we are using Java. So Java provides us two concepts: servlet or JSP. We can use this concept, this servlet and JSP, and we can develop dynamic pages. And as a database, you can use any database like Oracle, like MySQL, PostgreSQL, as you like, as you need. You can use any database. Okay. So here, presentation tab, application tab, and database tab. So here, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, a lot of technology you can use, image, audio, video you can use for presentation. In application tab, we can use Servlet or JSP. Okay. So we are Java developers, so we will learn. First of all, we will start from the Servlet. Okay. Any doubt, any queries?
No, sir, it's fine.
Okay. Now, So we are going to start Servlet. So what is Servlet? First, okay, so these are the characteristics of Servlet. So it is a technology. So you can use this technology and you can develop different types of web application for internet and host on the internet. Okay. So as you like, as you need, you can develop different types of website web application with the help of Servlet. Second thing, it's a way to develop dynamic web pages in the Java. If you are a Java developer, so you have a option two option. You can use Servlet or JSP. So Servlet is also a way to develop a dynamic page in Java. Third, it is a server-side script. Without server, we cannot execute servlet or JSP. Both are the server-side script. So without server, we cannot execute servlet. So servlet reside in the server. So we cannot execute servlet without the server because servlet reside in the server. Okay, it extend the capability of server because server only provide us the static page, but server with the help of servlet it also provide us a dynamic page. Okay, so through the servlet we can extend the capability of server. Okay, next is it is a interface and like Java provided different multiple interfaces. Same as Servlet is also an interface, predefined interface, and it is a class. So we will create. You can say this is implemented class of a Servlet interfaces. Okay, so because we will work on class. Okay, so now suppose we have a class. Suppose we have a class. Name is a name. Okay, and we want to convert this class in thread. Okay, so we have two options. We can implement runnable interface. Okay, we can convert this class in thread. Same as if we want to, we have a class demo and we want to convert this class in servlet. So we can implement servlet. This is also interface. Okay, second thing, if we have a class and we want to convert this class in thread, so we have another option. We can extend a thread class. Okay, same as if you have a class and we want to convert in servlet, so we have another option. We can extend generic servlet. Okay, and we have another option also. We can extend HTTP servlet. So we have three options. If you want to develop a dynamic page, so we have three options. We can implement servlet interface, we can extend generic servlet, we can extend HTTP servlet. Generic servlet and HTTP servlet are classes, and servlet is an interface. Okay, and same as here, if you want to create a thread, so we have two options. We can implement runnable interface and extend thread class. Okay, second thing, if uh, we are implementing runnable interface, so this is our responsibility to implement public void run method. Okay, same as if we are using thread class, so we it is our responsibility to implement public void run method. Same as here in servlet class. If we want to implement servlet interface, so servlet interface is also a predefined interface. Okay, and like runnable interface, it have some methods. So if we will implement runnable servlet interface, so it is our responsibility to implement all servlet methods. Okay, so a servlet have five methods: public, void, init, and it have a single parameter name is a servlet config. And okay, and servlet config is also a interface. And second method is a servlet public void service. Okay, and here we use there are two parameters. First is a servlet request and servlet response. Okay, and third method is a public void destroy. Fourth is a public string get servlet info, and fifth is a public servlet config get servlet config. Okay, so servlet have five methods. Init method, first method is init method. If I have a single parameter, name is a servlet config, and servlet config is also an interface, and it is used for initialization, and it provides the initialization of servlet. Okay, second is a class. Second is a servlet service interface. Service interface has two parameters: servlet request and servlet response. The main we will write the all coding within the service method, because a service method receive the request from the client side, and after processing it send the response to client side. So for receiving the request from the client side, it receives servlet request, and for sending the response to client, so for this purpose we use servlet response. Okay, third is a distray. It will delete the uh, all object that generated at the time of execution of servlet. Okay, so at the time of execution of this try method, it will delete the all object. Okay, and string get servlet info, it will return the information about all string information about the servlet. And servlet config, get servlet config, it returns the object of servlet config. Actually, servlet config here we are using as a component, as a parameter, but this is a interface. So if you want to get the object of the servlet config, we use get servlet config method. It will return the object of servlet config. Okay, after that here, so if we will implement servlet interface, so we it is our responsibility to implement init method, service method, describe method, get servlet info, and get servlet config. Okay, so if we will implement servlet interface, so must be implement all 5 methods of servlet. Okay, so suppose we have 10 servlet, so we will implement 50 methods of servlet. Okay, so that is a tough task. Okay, so for this reason, we are using here generic servlet. So generic servlet is also a predefined class. So like here, generic servlet implement servlet interface. Okay, so we have a second option. This is the generic servlet. Generic servlet is a class. It already implemented servlet interface and provides the implementation of all methods except service method. Okay, so if we will use it, we will extend generic servlet. Okay, so we have need to implement only service method. Okay, we have not need to implement init method, describe method, get servlet info, or get servlet config, because these method is already implemented by generic servlet. So if we are using generic servlet, so we have need to implement only service method, because generic servlet did not provide us the implementation of service. Okay, so in service method, we can receive the request from the client. After processing, we can send the response to client. Okay, we have another class name is a HTTP servlet. So Java provides us another servlet, another class name is a HTTP servlet. Okay, and HTTP servlet extend generic servlet. Okay, so HTTP servlet extend generic servlet, and generic servlet already implemented 4 methods, and here HTTP servlet uh, providing implementation of service method also. So if we will use HTTP servlet, suppose we have a class and we extend HTTP servlet, so we have no need of to implementation of any methods, because 4 methods implemented by generic servlet and 1 method service method, the pending method, remaining method, service method provided by HTTP servlet. So first question will arise that how to perform our uh, our operation. Okay, so for this purpose, service method of HTTP servlet provide us two service method, two extra additional, you can say additional service method. Name is do get and do post. That is the do get do post. Okay, and the parameter is a HTTP servlet and HTTP response, same as HTTP servlet and HTTP servlet response and HTTP servlet request. So the service method of HTTP servlet provides us two additional service method, name is doGet and doPost. And doGet have two parameter, HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response, same as doGet. doPost provide us to provide have two parameter, HTTP servlet and HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. Okay, so if you are using HTTP servlet, if you are implementing, if you extend HTTP servlet, so we will implement do get or do paste as if you are using in front end. If we are using in form, we are using get method, so we will use do get. Do get. If you are using do post, we are using post method, so we use do post. Okay, so here if you extend HTTP servlet, so we will implement do get or do post. First thing, second thing, HTTP here, HTTP servlet. So HTTP is a protocol. Okay, so actually HTTP servlet provides us an additional facility of HTTP protocol also. Okay, for this reason, currently we are preferring HTTP servlet. Second thing, suppose we want to send a request. So we are using here, you can say, I think, currently, yeah, you can say this HTTP, HTTPS. So if you want to send a request to the web browser, so we use HTTP protocol. Okay, and here we are using HTTP servlet. So suppose we are using any other protocol at the place of HTTP protocol, so we can't use HTTP servlet. Okay, because HTTP servlet only work on HTTP protocol. It will not work any other protocol. But mostly we use HTTP protocol, so we have no need of alternative of any other servlet class. Okay, but we can use generic servlet. So that is the difference between HTTP servlet and generic servlet. Generic servlet is a protocol independent and HTTP is a protocol dependent. It only works with HTTP protocol. But generic servlet will work with all protocol. We are using FTP or any other protocol. We can use generic servlet. So generic servlet is a protocol independent, but HTTP servlet is a protocol dependent. That is the difference between a generic servlet and HTTP servlet. Second thing, in generic servlet, we implement service method, and if you are using uh, HTTP servlet, so we use do get or do post. Okay, but mostly we are using HTTP protocol, so we have not need to uh, use any other servlet class at the place of HTTP servlet. Okay, next thing, so that is there are three ways. So if you want to develop a dynamic page, we have three ways. We can implement servlet interface, we can extend generic servlet, we can extend HTTP servlet. Okay, and we can develop a dynamic page. Next thing here, I have declared here servlet have five methods: public, void init, public void wish, public void destroy. So these three methods are called callback method. Okay, these three methods are called callback methods. What is the meaning of this? These methods we have not need to call it. Okay, JVM will call it. So actually it is server side script. So where is JVM? So actually in web container, JVM reside in the web container. So web container contains JVM, and JVM executes servlet or JSP. Okay, so JVM will call init method, service method, and desktop. We have no need of to call these methods because these are the callback method. We already use a callback method, that is the main. So JVM I also called main method. So in advanced Java, we are using this method at the place of main method because we are not using main method in the advanced Java. Okay, we use only in core Java we use main method. Okay, and in advanced Java we are using init method, service method, destroy method at the place of main method. Okay, so as well as main method as well as init method, service method, and destroy method are callback method. We have no need of to call these methods. Okay, JVM will call these methods or main method. Okay, so first question will arise when a uh, web container will call init method or service method or destroy method. So if you want to understand these things, so we can say life cycle of servlet. Life cycle of servlet. First, so here, suppose we are using a class here. So we are using extend HTTP servlet. So after compilation, it will generate a class file. Okay. So first of all, we load servlet class. So first of all, we will load the servlet class. After that, after the initialization, means it will create the JVM will create our web container will create the object of servlet class. Okay, so that is called initialization. Okay, sorry, that is not initialization. Instantiation. It will create the object of so web container create the object of servlet class or instantiation. Third is a invoke. After that, init method will execute. After that, service method invoke service method will execute. After that, invoke destroy method will execute. Destroy method will execute. Invoke service method, invoke destroy method. Invoke instantiation, load the service servlet method, servlet class. Okay. So here this is life cycle of servlet. First of all, servlet class will load. After that, instantiation. After that, invoke method will execute. After that, service method execute. After this time method execute. Init method and describe method will execute only one time in a whole life cycle. Okay, but service method will execute multiple times. Okay, like suppose 100 users want to use service method or servlet, any servlet or any servlet. So service method will execute 100 times, but init method and destroy method will execute only one time. Okay, so if suppose we have a demo servlet and 100 or 1000 or lakh a user will send the request for a demo servlet. So uh, so service method will execute 100 time or 1000 time or lakh time. Okay, so but init method and destroy method will execute only one time in whole life cycle. Okay, after that,
What is
after
like one cycle, sir? What does it mean? One cycle.
means from like suppose we born and we death. So this is one life cycle. Okay, same as we create the object of servlet class and destroy the servlet class. So that is the whole life cycle.
Okay, but I mean, practically, when we actually create the object, like in which scenario
Object.
of the server class, like I mean, server calls the helper function, right? And
Yes,
helper function
yes,
has the servlet class, right?
yes, yes.
So when the server made that call, like every time we user password authentication is required, every time an object is created, or like how?
Okay, 1 minute. Like suppose I'm going to call this. Okay, Suppose this is user one, send a request. Okay, for suppose request for demo servlet. Okay, the server transfer that request to helping program. So actually, server have a web container. Server transferred that request to web container. Oh, no, web container. Okay, so that is a responsibility to create the object of that servlet and check that servlet is exist or not. That's the responsibility of web container. So web container contain the all servlet like suppose you have multiple servlets like suppose you have web container have your in program have demo servlet and home servlet and contact servlet. Okay, they are different servlet and user one send the request for demo. Okay, so web if you install your if you work on servlet, so we use a additional file name is web.xml. It contains the all information about the all servlet in web.xml. So if a user send the request for demo or any servlet, okay, suppose demo servlet, so server transfer that request to web container and web containers check demo servlet is exist or not in the web container. It will check in web.xml. Okay, and web.xml contain the all information about the all servlet. Okay, so web contain if demo is exist in web.xml, so it will get the package name, URL, and servlet name. All information it will get from the web.xml. And on the basis of this information, web container create the object of demo class. Okay, after that, web container create a thread and pass the object of demo class and provide this thread to server and server transfer that thread to client and client display the output on the web browser. Okay, suppose again a user send the request for demo class. Again, this is user 2. Okay, so here at the time of creation of this object, okay, init method will execute. Okay, and when new thread will transfer on the client machine, then service method will execute. Okay, again suppose user to send the request for demo class, demo servlet. So server transfer that request to web container and web container check that servlet is exist or not in the web.xml. But that is exist and object is also exist. So web container will not create the object of demo class. At the place of this, it will create a new thread and pass that object in the new thread and provide this thread to user 2, and user 2 displays the output of that demo on the web browser. If another user send the request for same servlet, the server web container will not create a new object of that class because object is already exist. So it will not create. So it will not create. So any method will not execute. Okay, and it will pass the object in a new thread and pass the thread to the user. And user the service method will execute, and that will show on the web browser. Understood?
Okay, so basically, if object is already there, so object is not created again. The same object is passed to different thread as
Different
you
thread.
each user calls, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And
Why
the
not the
service
same
method.
thread? Why different thread?
You are working in different uh, operation in service method. Each user will
Hmm.
perform different operation. Will all user will not perform the same operation.
Okay, okay, got
So
it.
they will get that. If suppose you want to send a request for Google, so Google will not provide the whole application or your client side. At the place of this, it will provide only the thread of that application, and we are using only application, only that thread on the screen. We are saying. So if very means we are using threads, so it consumes very less space in the memory. So if you are a small mobile like Nokia and any other, so if you want to access uh, internet, so you cannot work anything, but you can open Google on the a small screen also. Okay, so mostly Google and other uses threading, and at the place of whole application, it provides us the thread of that application, so we can easily execute on on a very less memory. We can perform it operation. Okay,
Yeah,
hello.
sorry. Okay, got it.
So now this after that, yes. Okay, so here service method will execute in multiple times, but init method and describe method will execute only one time in a whole life cycle. Okay, so here you can see this in web application. There are multiple component. Means presentation application. The presentation tag is also called front end. Application tag is also called back end, and database is a database. Okay, so you can see here there are a lot of technology we use in web application. So this is not just like as a core application. Okay, here there are a lot of technology we use in whole application in web application. Okay, so that's why we are using here a directory structure. We can't use everything anywhere. Okay, like suppose we have a folder that is called one minute, directory structure. So suppose we have a folder, name is, can specify any name, and within this folder we can save anything as per your need, like HTML file, CSS file, HTML, CSS, JS, image, etc. As means you can say all static pages we can save in this folder. Okay, but we cannot save dynamic page in this folder. If we want to work on dynamic page, so we will create another method, sorry, another folder within this folder. So we can create a subfolder within this folder. Okay, the name will be web inf. Okay, so we will create a subfolder. Within this folder, name will be web inf, and this web inf have two subfolder. First is a classes, and second is a lib. Lib is a optional, but class is a mandatory. Okay, actually, if you want to create a servlet, so anywhere in your system, you can create your servlet. But after compilation, it will generate a class file. So that will save in the classes folder. We cannot save that class file anywhere in our system. We can only save that class file in the classes folder. If you want to connect with database or any other framework or any other resource, so we will save the all jar file in the lib folder. The lib contain the libraries file we store in the lib folder. So if you want to connect with another resource, so you have made the lib library files, so you can create lib folder. Otherwise, you have no need of lib file. That is the option. But class is the mandatory because you will create the servlet class, and after compilation, it will generate the class file. So that will save in the classes folder. Okay, after that, webinf also contain a file name is web.xml file, and this xml file is a file, and this xml file, this contain the all information about your all servlets. So web container search that servlet in web.xml. So if you have a servlet, but the description of the servlet does not exist in the web.xml. So it will show file not found 404 error. Okay, because web container search that servlet within the web.xml. Okay, so it is mandatory if you have a servlet to that with this declare must be declared in the web.xml file. Okay, so these are the basic directory structure of your web application. But in further classes, we use another a lot of things like Spring Framework, Hibernate, and a lot of things. So we will use a lot of different types of add different directory structure. But this is the basic structure. We will add multiple part also in further classes. But this is the basic structure of web application. So in a folder, we can save any static page. But if you want to work on dynamic page, so must create a subfolder webinf, and we have webinf have two subfolder, classes and lib. Lib contain the library file, classes contain the all classes file, and it also contain a file named is web.xml, and it contain the all information about the all servlet. Okay, and here and web.xml, because that is a web, this is XML file. So I think you know that the XML file means XML means extensible markup language. It is the extension of HTML file. So okay, so it is similar to HTML, but there are a lot of difference between HTML file and XML file. In HTML file, we use predefined tags like HTML, body, head, title, H1, V1, H1 to H6, bold, italic, a lot of predefined tags. But in XML, we use user-defined tag. Okay, we are not using here predefined tag, but it also work on starting and ending tag, just like as HTML. So here we are using starting and ending tag, and uh, all mostly tag in we use in web HTML. There is a user defined tag. Means all XML file have a separate tag. If you are using Android, so you can see in Android we mostly work on HTML. In your mobile, you are getting a lot of icons. That icons also made by XML in Android, and mostly we work perform in XML in Android. Okay, but in Java we are not using XML. At the place of XML we use annotation. Okay, so at the place of XML file we are using annotation, but in Android we are using XML file. There are a lot of files we create in XML file. Okay, so here because on all XML file have different tags. You can see here all XML5 have a different tag, because XML5 have a user defined tag. It's using user defined tag. So all XML5 have a new tags. So how to, you can say how to execute this tag. So for this reason, this purpose, we are using schema or DTT file that contain the program of that tag. So if the XML file have a schema, then it will execute the your tag. Otherwise, it will not execute, because these are not the predefined tags. These are the user defined tags. Okay. So we are also we use some new tag in a web.xml file. So the root tag is a web app. Web app is a root tag of web.xml. So it have a starting and ending tag. Okay, and this web uh, app has two subtag: servlet, starting and ending tag, servlet, and there are two subtag: servlet mapping. Okay, so web app have two subtag: servlet and servlet mapping. Servlet has two subtag: servlet name and servlet class. Servlet class. Okay, so here it will get the name of servlet, and servlet class means location of servlet, means here we will specify the servlet name with package name. Okay, so JVM get the servlet location and create the object of servlet. After that, here servlet mapping have to tag to subtag. First is servlet name, and second is a URL pattern, means we declare the URL. So this URL we can call this servlet. Okay, so we specify a URL for each servlet. Using that URL, we can call that servlet. Okay, suppose here I declare a demo servlet. So we can call, suppose here I have declared demo. It means we can call this servlet to the slash demo URL. Okay, same as here, we can declare the demo class, and here we can declare the path of like com.cts.demo. It will JVM will get the location of servlet class and it will create the object of demo class. Okay, so that is a web.xml file. Okay, but currently we are not using this servlet this XML file. At the place of this, we are using annotation name is web servlet. So the whole file, at the place of whole file, we use only the web servlet annotation. Okay, this is very shortcut compared to web.xml.
So, I mean, when we write the XML, then we have to mention all these things, mapping and all.
Actually,
But in the
current version,
annotation,
actually we are using different version. So if you are using servlet 2.5 up to 2.5, 2.2, 2.3, any means less than 2.5. Okay, 2.5 version servlet module version 2.5, less than 2.5, less or equal than 2.5 we use web.xml, but more than 2.5 we use at web servlet annotation at the place of web.xml. Okay,
okay, okay.
so
So
now
less than point 2.5, we have to mention the
less or
XML,
equal.
but great.
If you are using 2.5, so it will only work on web.xml. We can't use any annotation.
Okay, okay, got it.
After 2.5, we can use annotation.
But if we have to define some custom thing in annotations, how do we do? Like, for example, in XML, we
Hello,
have a
your
choice
voice is
to.
very low. Hello, 1 minute.
Hello, is it better now?
1 minute. Yes, hello, hello.
Hello. Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
It's okay. Yes. What are you saying? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, yes, it's okay. You are edible. Please. Hello, Abbas. What are you saying? Hello. Hello. Hello, Abbas. Am I edible? It's okay. क्या हुआ?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I was saying that if we do annotation after the version 2.5, like you said, right? Then
Yes.
how do we define custom properties? Like in XML, we have option to define the servlet mapping, the servlet name and the URL pattern. So if this thing we want to modify in the
No, no,
annotation,
no,
so
no, no. Actually, here annotation we declare only like suppose we have need the URL. We are using URL actually. So here we declare here demo.
okay, okay, okay. So URL pattern we declare like that.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. So it's okay. Any doubt? Any queries in these things?
Yeah, it's fine, sir. Yeah, got it.
Okay. Now I'm going to create an example of servlet. Okay. So this is our ID. Click on File. Click on New. Here you will get a option Java project. Click on others and type here dynamic project, dynamic web project. Okay, so click on dynamic web project, click on next. Here you can specify the project name, like you can specify any application name as you like. Here I have declared Servlet Web 1. Okay, here you can specify the version. Currently I am using Tomcat for 9.0, so we cannot use above the 4.0. Okay, so here you can use any version, and you have need a server must be, so you can download a server. Yes, first of all download a server. Okay, so here I'm using version 9, but you can use any version. So for here I'm going to use, but I think it's version 9 is here. You should be download Apache Tomcat. Okay, 9, and you can type here Apache Tomcat 9, Apache Tomcat 9. Click here, then you will get a multiple option here. Uh, in code 32-bit Windows. If you are system with 32-bit platform, you can use 32-bit. If you are 64-bit, you can click on 64-bit. And if you want to use installer, you can use installer. But currently I'm using 64-bit zip file. Okay, if you want to use it, you can click here, so it will download automatically in your, here you can click and you can click and it will download in your system. Okay, after that it will provide you a zip file. So if you want to use it, so must be extracted. After extraction you can use it. Okay, so I will suggest you can download 9 version. Okay, after that I'm going to file and click on other, type here dynamic web project, click on next. So here Servlet web 1. Okay, here I'm going to use this uh, version and click on next. Okay, so here you can see the SRC main Java. We can create servlet anywhere in our system, but here uh, dynamic project provide us a source folder SRC main Java. Here we can create the servlet. Okay, and there is a, you can see default output folder. This is classes folder. It will contain the class file of your servlet. After that you click on next. Here you can see generate web.xml file. We have no need of the XML file. XML file is also called deployment description. And context root means this is your project name, and this is the place where we will store the save the all static pages. That is SRC main web app. Okay, and click on finish. Click on no. Okay, so this is it. You can see this. This is directory structure of your project. These are JRE libraries. Here this is the main. Here we can create the all static member. This is the build. It contains the classes folder and will store the class file of servlet. And this is SRC. SRC have main have web app. Web app we can create the all static page in web app. Okay, web have two folders, meta inf and web inf. So web inf contain lib folder. Lib folder contain the libraries file. Okay, so we can create any static page in web app, and dynamic page mean like library file we will save in lib folder. Okay, now I'm going to create a HTML file. So create right mouse button in web app, create right mouse button, sorry, new HTML file. No, there is no HTML. Type here HTML. create a HTML file, click on next. You can specify the name of this is first file. So mostly website web application prefer as a first file index. Okay, so you can specify their index, click on next and click on finish. Okay, this is the index.html file, and here welcome to copy. Okay, welcome to this. So this is a HTML file, and we want to send a request for page. So we have a anchor tag href is equal to here. We are going to declare here demo home page. So we want to call home page. So here I have declared URL demo. So we have need this page. So I'm going to create a servlet name with demo. So we can create that servlet here, src make Java. So click right mouse button, new. Here specify here servlet. Click on servlet. Here you can specify the package name. Here you can specify the name of your class. Click on next. This is a URL mapping URL. Okay, through this URL we can execute demo. Click on next. Here you can see the all method, init method, display method, get servlet config, get servlet info, service, do get, do post, a lot of methods. We are going to use do get. So here I am going to remove the selection of do post. Okay, and it's showing. Please click on finish, and you can see here. Okay, this is web servlet is a annotation, and this is a URL. Okay, and this is a class demo, and here HTTP servlet, HTTP extend HTTP. So now currently we are working in HTTP servlet. Okay, and do get method, and do get have two parameters, HTTP servlet and HTTP response. Okay, and here through the response we can send the response to user. So here we are using get writer response dot get writer method of response, and here append the values like serve at and request the get context path. It will return the name of your project. Okay, and serve at, that is a string. It's showing error here. You can see there's a lot of error here. So for this purpose, here click right mouse button, click on build path, click on configure build path, click on library, click on class path, click on add external jar. Okay, so click on this button, add external jar, and we have need the jar file of server. Okay, so my server I have already saved in a service folder, sorry, software folder, service. So my server exists here, Apache Tomcat. You can see the Apache Tomcat 9%. Okay, so open this folder. After extraction, you will get this folder. Open this folder. Then this is the main folder of your Apache Tomcat. Open this. Here you will get a folder lib folder. Open lib folder. Here you will get a file name is Servlet API. So Servlet API is a compiler of Servlet and JSP. Okay. So if you want to use, if you are using Tomcat, so Tomcat provide as a file name is Servlet API, and it will work as a compiler. But if you are using any other server like Jetty, like JBoss, WebSphere, WebLogic. So that server will provide a different file as a compiler. Must you remember this? This Servlet API is a compiler of Servlet JSP and provided by Tomcat server or Apache Tomcat server. If you are using any other server, so there will be a different compiler. Okay. After that, you can click on open. Okay. You can see Servlet API. This is a location. Click on apply and close, and you can see the here the all error has removed. Okay. So suppose, so here we are sending a request from the HTML file. This is index.html file. Okay, through this we are calling this page and name is demo. You can see here is a demo class. Okay, this is servlet, and through the anchor tag we are calling this. So we are using this URL index.html. Okay, so now I'm going to execute it. Click right mouse button, click run as. So run as, here click on run on server. Here you can see this. Click on Apache because we have Apache Tomcat. So open Apache. Here you will get the version, different version, but currently we have Apache Tomcat 9 version. Click 9 version. Click on next. Okay, so this you can see this is your server name. Here we have need to inform the directory of your server. So click on browse. So here you can see this. My server exists in ePrompt. ePrompt have a folder. This folder have a folder name is software, and software have a folder Apache Tomcat. Open this Apache Tomcat. Here you will get Apache Tomcat 9. Okay, this is the actual folder of your servlet. Sorry, server. Okay, click on this folder and click on servlet. Select folder. Click on it. Okay, click on next and click on finish. This is first time, so it's taking time, but the next time it will not uh, consume a lot of time. Okay, it's showing here airport 800 already busy. So here there is no server. There is server. No, there is server. So window, view, show view. Here you will get the server. Where is server? No, there is no server. Click on other server. Click on servers. Click on open. There is a server. Okay. Here you will get Tomcat v9 server at localhost. Open this and we can change the port number here. So I'm going to change the port number like 1. Save this file and try again to execute this file. Server, click on next and finish. Again, 8081 is also busy. Again, I'm going to change it 8082. Okay, save this file. Again, I'm going to execute it. So run on server. It's a server. Click on next. Click on finish. You can see this. Welcome to Guru School. That is a home page. Click on home page and you can see this. Servlet is already exist on your servlet. This is servlet and it returns the your project name. So you can see here is a project servlet paper is a project name. But you want to show any other thing on the server on the web browser, so we can create our new page as our requirement. Okay. Actually, this get writer method return the object of print writer. So we can save that object in a reference. Name it out. You can specify any name as you like. Okay. After that, we can create a page. So out dot print. Here you can specify HTML body. No, it's okay. Out dot print, and here suppose h1, and you can specify any message like servlet application. Okay, you can create this page, and here we are creating dynamic page. Okay, so as per your need, you can create your dynamic page here. Okay, save this file. Again, I am going to check it's working or not. Okay, servlet application. Okay, so that is the way of working of servlet. So from the HTML file, we can send the request and we can receive in servlet, and after that we can perform the uh, operation and send the output to user to the response, HTTP servlet response. Okay, hello.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? Any queries?
No, sir, some fine. Just one thing. When you click the home button, so where is that configured that it will direct to the demo endpoint?
Here I have declared. Here you can see the index
Okay,
demo,
okay, okay. Got it.
and here the URL is demo.
Index maps to the URL basically. Okay, okay.
You are calling this URL in
Yeah.
index.html.
Okay, got it.
It's okay. Any doubt, any queries?
Sir, it's fine. Yeah, got it.
So now I'm going to share it. Check it. If you have any doubt, any queries, you can share. Submit. One. Okay. So thank you, Abbas.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Morning, can you hear
Good
me?
morning. Good morning. My screen is visible? Hello. Hello. My screen is visible? Hello.
1 second, sir. Some issue. I think that my internet.
Okay, okay, okay.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, now I can see the screen. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, so today's topic is MVC. Okay, model view controller. So now we are going to. So model, model mostly Java developed the all project on the basis of model view controller. Model that class the object of model class contain the primitive values, and if you want to convert any primitive values in object, we use model class, means user defined. Like suppose we have user implied name, and we want to store in a single object. So for this purpose, we use model. So model class store the data temporarily. Okay, so if you want to hold the data primitive values in a objects, we use model class. View that will show on your screen, that is view, and controller is just like as a manager. It handles the management. It receives the request from the front end, and according to request, it transfer the control from one component to another component. So control is just like as a controller, that is just like as a manager. It's handle the all management of the project. Okay. So if you want to create a controller, so we have two options. We can create, we will use uh, we can use Servlet or JSP. For view, we can use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Angular, Step. A lot of technologies we have. We can use anyone. And model class, we use class. Okay. So now we are going to create an example of model view controller with Servlet. So I think this is a yes. This Servlet waveform. Going to create a new copy. Demo class. Okay. And is a front end. We are sending the request from the front end. So for this purpose, if you want to transfer any value from the front end, we have only single option, that is a form. So first of all, we are going to create a form. To the form, we will try to send the values from front end to back end. Okay, and we want to we have a demo servlet, so we are trying to send the data to demo servlet. Okay, here a user will input value of username, then will save in uname. If you will input the value of password, then that will save in PWD. If you click on submit button, then these value transfer from the front end to back end. In back end, demo servlet will receive it. Okay. We have two types of method to transfer the value from the front end to back end. We can use method like get. We have two methods, get and post. By default, it is get. Suppose we remove this is optional for get. Suppose, okay, so it will work as a get. Okay, but if you want to use post, so must be declare here post. Okay, so by default it is get. If we will use get, okay, one by one. After that, we will show the example is a difference between get and post. And here we have need to receive the value from the front end. For this purpose, there is a HTTP request, HTTP server request. Through this interface, we can receive from the front end, and through the HTTP server response, we will send the response to front end, our client. Okay, so the object of HTTP servlet request is a request. So through that request, we can receive the request from the front end or from the user. So request dot get parameter, and here declare the variable name like uname. It will return the value of username and it will return in string format. So we will save here USR. Okay, same as here. Request dot get parameter and here declare the variable of password. Okay. After that, if you want to show it, so for this purpose here it is a dynamic page. If you want to print the value of USR and PSS, so we can create a dynamic page. Okay, now I'm going to execute it. Username, we can put the value username, input password, and click on sign in. So you can see this welcome password admin. This okay. If you want to check it that username and password is correct or not, so here
Username did not get printed out. No? Welcome that part. Or did it get printed out? It's a welcome is it? Welcome admin. Okay, okay.
okay. So here if you want to validate it, so for USR dot equals, suppose here we want to check it admin and PSS dot equals admin at the rate 123. If condition is true, then we can also perform the validation. Okay, and here incorrect username or password. Okay, again I'm going to check it. We can put any username, any password. Click on sign in and you can see this incorrect username password. If we'll input here admin and password admin123, click on sign in. So will be welcome. Okay, if you want to use here CSS or JS, you can also use here like style is equal to background color red, green, and color white, and text align center Okay. Now again, I'm going to check it. So admin, admin 123. Click on sign in, and you can set it welcome admin. Okay, same as if you have to use your CSS, you can also use your CSS.
Hello.
Hello, yes, hello. Hello,
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
yes. Yes,
Hello.
yes, hello. What happened?
Hello.
Okay, suppose here. So
Hello,
here,
sir. Can you hear me?
yes, yes, yes. Yes, Abbas.
Hello.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello, hello. Before I minute back, you were.
Hello.
Yes, hello, hello. Please check your network.
Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Hello.
Hello,
Okay. Now I'm audible, sir.
yes.
Okay, I rejoined. Yeah, yeah. Now I can hear you. Yes, you can continue.
Okay, okay, okay. So we can also use CSS here. Okay, you can say this. Suppose here I declare user and password. Click on sign in. So here you can say welcome admin. Okay, same as here. If we'll input here any wrong username, then it will show incorrect username or password. Okay, so we can also use here CSS. Okay, same thing. Suppose we want to change the same thing in MVC pattern. So for this purpose, I'm going to create a new copy of this project. Okay, okay. So we can send these values from the front end. After that, here we can save the value from the front end. And now we are going to use convert it in front. So for this purpose, I'm going to change the package name as a controller. So here, where is no, I cannot change. Okay, so here I'm going to create a new package name. So package name I'm going to change dot controller, and we are going to use same servlet as a controller. And now I'm going to delete this. Okay, this is a controller. After that, I'm going to create another servlet. Where is servlet? There's servlet. Click on next, and here we are going to create a new. There is a view, and the name of servlet is success. That is next, and now I'm going to remove here to get. Okay, here. Okay, and same as we are going to create another servlet. Both servlet will work as a view, and servlet, click next, and here error, click on next, next, remove the selection of to get. Now I'm using on post, and this is a get user and password, and here I'm going to use success if. So this is a demo. Okay, and here we receive the value from the front end. After that we will check username is equal to admin and password equal to admin at the rate 123. Then it will call this. Okay, at the place of this we are going to call success servlet. If condition will false, then we will call error servlet. Okay, so if you want to call any other page in servlet, any other servlet, any other JSP file or HTML file, any page, if you want to call in servlet. So for this purpose, we have an interface name is request dispatcher. Okay, RD is equal to request dot get request dispatcher, and here we can specify the name of page. Okay, and here we use forward dot forward. We can forward request and response. So we are calling if condition is true, then we will call success servlet and forward transfer the value of request and response on the service success. Okay, if condition will false, then again we will call request dispatcher. RD is equal to request dot get request dispatcher, and here you can declare here and RD dot forward, and here again we will transfer the value of request and response. Okay, first thing. So here we will transfer, we have no need of this. Okay, because we are calling this servlet. So we will perform same thing in this servlet. Okay, and We are transferring the okay. So we will call this page. So if we were use okay, so here we are calling success page if condition will true. So it will transfer the request and response. Okay, so all value of request and response transfer to success page. Okay, so we can also here receive the value from the union forward from the request and we can use it. So the main benefit of the request response is it also transfer the value of requested response. So we can use that value of request and response in another page. Okay, same as if condition will false. Okay, so error will call or no. So we will show only message incorrect username and password. So we have already this message here. So we can receive, we can delete this. Okay, so this is very simple. If here we will receive the values from the front end. After that, here we can check that username and password is correct or not. If it will correct, then it will call success page and transfer the value of request and response. If uh, value will false, then it will call the error page. Okay, if condition is will true, then success page in success page because it will transfer the value of request and response, so we can get the value from the user response and please and we can print here. Okay, and okay, if condition will false, then it will show the incorrect username and password in error page. If condition will false, then it will call error page, and error page will show only the message incorrect username and password. Okay, now here we are using do post because request dispatcher only work on do post. So here we can also change here do post. Okay, here we are using post. So in front end we will also use here as a method we will use post. Okay, now again I'm going to execute it. So okay, username, password, incorrect username and password. If we will input here admin, admin 123, click on sign in. Showing the so same thing here we are using MVC pattern. Okay, so we will transfer the value from the front end. Controller receive the values and perform the processing. If condition will true, then it will call success page. If condition will false, then it will call error page. Okay, and because currently we are using request dispatcher, so request dispatcher transfer the value of request response also. Okay, so that is the use of that is the way of here controller view. If here we are using only for view, but we have need to model class also because we are working on uh, model view controller. So now I'm going to create a model class. So new class, and here I'm going to declare here model. Here declare user class, users class. Okay, this model class. In model class, we are going to declare here because we are receiving two values, username and password. So here I'm going to declare here username and password is also private. Okay, now I'm going to generate getter and setter method of okay. Now, so this is a model class. Now we are going to here. You can see this. We are receive the value from the front end. After that, we will create the object of model class. So users obj is equal to new users. Okay, and that is users. After that, obj dot set username, and here we can specify the USR. Same thing, dot set password, and it is a PSS. Okay, now we save the values in the object of model class. Now here we can call the value of USR from the model class. So obj dot get username. Okay, same as here we can specify here obj dot get password. Okay, so we can receive the value from the object of model class. Okay, so that is a model view and controller. Now I'm going to execute it for this purpose. Again, we can so we can work here. So here we can specify this anything incorrect username or password. If we will declare here admin and password is an admin. Okay, so this is a model view controller, and we are using post. So if we are using get, so by default method is get. We have no need to declare method get. Okay, that is optional. If we use get here, so all values will show on the browser here address bar. So you can see this. Suppose here we transfer any values, and you can see this. Here you can see this. The value of uname, uname and past PWDs show on the address bar. Okay, and in backend we are using post, so we cannot use get in the front end. Okay, so here we have need to declare here post. Okay, save this. Okay, so if we declare get, so in backend we use do get. If we are using post, so in backend we will use do post. Okay, And if you are using get, so the value will be displayed on the browser address bar. If you are using post, so it will not show on the your address bar. So for security purpose, post is better than get. And through the get, we can transfer only limited values. Means only 2K, maximum 2K values we can transfer from the front end to back end. But in post, we can transfer unlimited value from the front end to back end. In get, that is faster than post, okay, because it transfer only limited values. And if you will send the any request from the front end to back end, so after receiving the response from the server, we can send the another request. But in post, if we will send the request, so without receiving the response from the server, we can send the another request. Okay, so in post we can transfer simultaneously multiple requests, but in get, after receiving the value from the response from the server, we can send the another request. That is the difference between get and post. But get is faster than post, and by default method is get. Okay, so I'm going to transfer this
Yeah.
example. Spring. Okay, please check it. After that, we will start JSP. If you have any doubt, any queries, you can share me. After that, we are going to start JSP.
Yes, okay. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, so now what are you doing?
Sorry.
Uh, I mean, you said something. I mean, we are on hold, so that.
Yes, yes. If you have any doubt, any queries.
Oh, not right now. Yeah, I
Okay,
don't
okay,
need to
okay.
worry. So.
Java server page. And, Java provides us a second option. If you want to create a, you want to develop a dynamic page, you have a second option, that is a JSP. JSP is a extension of Servlet because Servlet is just like as a core Java. We have need to write a more uh, coding in Servlet. So for convert it to make it easy, Java provides a another option that is JSP. JSP is just like as a HTML. It work on the basis of tags, and JSP also support the HTML tag. So if you don't know about the JSP, you can also create the file of JSP because JSP support the HTML file, HTML tags. Okay, second thing, that is the extension of Servlet. So it provide the all facility of Servlet, and it additional provide the additional facility of Servlet. Okay. Third thing, we have no need to recompilation, redeployment in the server. JSP is just like the HTML. Only you can refresh JSP and it will work. And JSP also provides us a lot of tag libraries. Means it support HTML tag, but JSP has also its own tags, so we can use it. And there are multiple libraries of tags, so you can also import their tags and you can use it. Okay, so and JSP is easier than Servlet because here we have no need to write the code just like as Servlet. Okay, it only work on tags just like as HTML. Okay, first thing, so JSP, the life cycle of JSP is a little bit different from the Servlet. So life of, so this is a life cycle of JSP page. First, translation of JSP page. Actually, JSP is the extension of Servlet. It is not a Servlet. This is JSP extension of Servlet. Means server only compatible with Servlet. Our Servlet don't know about the JSP. Okay, so first of all, we have need to translate our JSP page in Servlet. Okay, after that, compilation of this page. After that, after conversion, then compilation will be performed and it will generate dot class file. After that, it will web container will create the object of that class file and no initialization. Sorry for this. For initialization, is there for sorry, this is a 5. Class 1. Okay. So after compilation, class file will generate. Then it will load in the memory. Then instantiation means web country create the object of JC file. After that, that class file. Okay. And then JSP init just like as a init method of servlet. After that, JSP service will execute just like as a service method of servlet, and JSP distri will execute just like as a distri method of servlet. Here, same as service method will execute multiple times, and JSP init and JSP distri will execute only one time in the whole life cycle. Okay, that is it. Life cycle of JSP. After that, JSP provides a lot of tags like scripting tag. First, scriptlet tag. Second, expression tag. Third is declaration tag. Okay, split tag. The example is this. If you want to write the code just like as a core Java or servlet or service method, you can use that scriptlet tag. Okay, if you want to perform an expression, so for this purpose, this is the expression tag, and this is a declaration. If you want to declare any variable, any function, you can use declaration tag. Okay. JSP also provides us some directives like directive tag, like page directive, this is a page directive. Yeah. There is a page directive tag. Okay. Include directive tag. Include. And next is it. Include the taglet directory. Okay. So there are 3 directive tags. First is page directory. If you want to apply anything on whole page, for this purpose we use page directory. Like suppose you want to import any any file, any class, any interface. So we use page directory. If you want to declare the content type, so we use page directory. If you want to perform like exception or anything, so you can use page directory. Okay, include directory. If you want to add the content of any other page in current page, so we use include directory. So through this tag, you can directory tab, you can include the uh, page of any other page in current page. Tag lib directory. If you want to use any external tag library, so for this purpose we use tag lib directory. Okay, implicit. JSP also provides implicit object. Like suppose we have need if you want to receive any request from the front end, we use request. If you want to send the response to clients, for this purpose we use a response. If you want to create a dynamic page, we use uh, out. So JSP provides us the default implicit object already. We have no need to create the object of these interfaces like request, response, out, session, exception, config, application, page, page context. Okay, so request, you can, it is the object of request response, request HTTP request, HTTP request response. Out is a object of print writer. Session is a object of HTTP session. There is object of exception. This is the object of servlet config. We have no need to create the object of servlet config. Already we have available of config. This is the object of application is the object of context, servlet context. Page is the object of whole page, and page context is just like as a application, or you can say servlet context. Okay, so if you have need of this object, you can directly you can use it. Okay, so now I'm going to create example of JSP page, and you can see the examples of these tags. So now I'm going to create the example of JSP page. Where is dynamic page? Dynamic web project. JSP web one. No problem. You can use next, next, finish. Okay. We can use as a controller JSP file, but actually the problem with the JSP file is security reason. If you want to create, here you can see this. If you want to create a JSP file, it will exist in web app, just like as a HTML file. So for security reasons, we are not using JSP file as a controller. JSP file, click on next. Index.jsp file, click on finish. This is the index file. Now we have need to compiler. So click on build path, click on configure build path, class path, add external jar, where is servlet API, servlet API, apply and close. That's the index file. Okay, okay. Here you can see this. This is a page directory. That is a symbol of page directory. Here language, content type, which are applying the whole page that will declare in page directory. And the remaining part is just like as a HTML page. So we can create the HTML file if you don't know about the JSP file. Okay, because it supports the all tag of HTML. Okay, without server we cannot take the JSP file also because it's also a back. It's a server side script and it's reside in the server. So without uh, server we cannot take the JSP file. Okay, same thing here. So same thing we can declare in JSP file just like a HTML. Okay, now we can execute it, refresh it. Okay, if you want to receive this value in the backend, so we can use again we can use here create a JSP file like declare here demo. Next, okay, we want to receive this value here. So for this purpose, we use here scriptlet tag. Okay, within this scriptlet tag, we can perform the all operation just like a service method. So here we have need to create this already provided by JSP file. So you can declare here unit. Okay, same as, same as we can get the value of password. Request dot get parameter and this value pwd. After that, we are going to suppose you want to print this. So we have no need to create the object of print writer here. Here we have no need to HTML CSS directly. We can use here plus yes sir Okay, for USR. Okay, if you want to use here, okay, same as we can show the password. Sorry, PSS. Okay, so here in last example, I think we have remembered. Here we have need to print right from object. We have need to HTML and to the HTML tag. We have no need of this. Directly here only receive the values from the front end and use out object and print the other screen. Okay. Now we want to call this file from the front end. So for this purpose, here both are there. You can see index.js and both demo.js both are exist on the same folder. Okay, that is the reason. That's why we are not using JSify as a controller for security reason. Okay, here. Second thing, here we are transferring the values in demo.js file. So here in Servlet, we have no need to specify there is a Servlet. Okay, but in JSP file, we have need to declare here .jsp extension. Okay, now I'm going to execute it. Okay, you want to transfer any value? You can see username and password. Okay, same thing. If you want to perform same operation, so this is an example of scriptlet tag. Okay, within the scriptlet tag, you can write the code just like a service method of Servlet. Okay, but here we are getting the value of USR and PSS. You can also we have another tag that is the expression tag. In expression tag, we can declare here welcome to Cognizant, and now you can only refresh it. It will you can see it will work. We have not need to anything. Okay, same thing. If you want to show here value of example of expression tag and refresh it. Okay. After that, suppose you we want to use here yes sir. So we can access that value through the this expression tag. One minute, I'm coming.
Hello.
Okay, so now, okay, today's example of expression tag. So to the expression tag, we can display the message and here we receive the values and after that we can use to the expression tag. Declaration tag. Let's suppose here we declare here for this purpose we use this and here I declare int double is equal to 0.4. Okay, 3.14. Okay, and if you want to use it, so here we can use expression tag value of pi plus pi here. Okay, and here we can use here expression tag and we can set the value of pi. Okay, after that here suppose this is a declaration tag, expression tag, and escape tag, and this is a page directive. Suppose you want to use uh, include directive. So for this purpose, we use here at the rate include and file name. Suppose you want to add the content of index file in the current file. So here we can specify the file name. It will add the content of index file in this location. Here you can see this. Okay, the full content of that page we can add in current page. Okay, suppose we want to tag lib directory used for add the different types of tag library that is not exist in the mm, that is not exist in JSP file. Okay, so now suppose we want to use include directive and we can also use expression tag just like as like suppose here we are going to copy this. Okay, and paste here. Okay, now we want to show the receiving value same as front end. So here we can declare here value is equal to percentage equal the value of USR. Okay, same as we can show the value of password. So value is equal to percentage is equal and VSS. So you can see these values. So here you can see this, copy this, and here you can see this. It's shown same format. Okay. So if you want to show here, so for this purpose, you can use expression. So expression is if you want to fetch the record from the database and see show in tabular form anywhere. So we use expression type. Mostly we this very beneficial if you want to use it. Will very compact coding if you want to print the value of any variables. Okay, so that is the here. If you want to show this value same format, so you can use here in form. You can use the values. Okay, next thing. Suppose we want to show here. We are going to show the here. Okay, receive the value. After that, I'm going to here show. For this purpose, I'm going to show here a message. Suppose we want to show the expression language. So example of expression language. That is the expression type, but now we are going to do expression language. Okay. So here, okay. So for this purpose, here I'm going to declare here percentage equal username plus. Username param dot USR, but it's not showing here. Param, I think param. Okay, I'm checking it. It's working, not working. Okay. Mm, I think param. It's not working. 1 minute. Yes, okay. So here in suppose expression language we use dollar sign in within the brace we can use uname. Uname is a variable in we are using front to the username. Uname contain the value of username. PWD contain the value of password. So in backend we can use expression language and print that values. Okay, so for this purpose we use param. Suppose we want to show this. So for here equal and password, and here we can show with the help of expression. This is expression language. So use param dot pwd, and we can show the value of pwd. Here you can see this. You can see this password admin at that 123. Okay, same thing. Okay, and same thing. Suppose we want to perform because currently we are using JSP. So JSP is also used at the place of Servlet. So we can also perform the MVC. So if you want to perform same operation, means MVC through the JSP. So something is different in JSP. So for this purpose here, I'm going to create a copy of create a JSP MVC project. Dynamic project. I'm going to copy this, but I think you will confuse. You can be confused. Okay. So hello. Any any doubt? Any queries?
No, sir, that's fine.
Okay. So
Then one thing, if you want to calculate something, then how will you do? Which corrective we use?
just like as servlet, like suppose here you want
Hello?
to perform. Yes. Yes. Hello. I'm audible.
Yes, sir. I'm just saying like if you want to calculate something,
Yes.
like
Yes.
2
It's
plus
okay.
2, then which directive will you use?
Yes. Yes. I'm going to create example.
Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Yes. I'm hearing.
No, I was
Now.
asking
Now I'm
actually.
going to create example of.
Acha, okay, okay.
Okay. So here I'm going to create a page, JSP page. Like index, finish. Okay. And add the here. Now I'm going to execute this. Okay. And suppose you want to perform the calculation. So S2 form first value and m is equal to num same as we can input the second value, right? That is a num2 value is equal to, we can use as you like. Okay, now we have need to receive this value in demo.jsp. So create here, we will receive the values and here declare. Like suppose you can specify, suppose you have declare double x is equal to double num value of request dot get parameter, specify here num, same as we can num2 okay, and we want to show the output. So double z is equal to x upon y, and here print first value plus x plus same as we can print the y result z. Okay, so now I'm going to execute it. So okay, we can put here first values, second values, we can click on calc and you can see that is the result. Okay, hello, 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 am I audible? Hello, hello,
Hello, sir. Oh, I speak on mute actually. I just unmuted myself. Hello, can you
oh
hear me
yes,
now?
hello, okay, it's okay,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I was speaking on mute actually. Yeah.
okay. So now I'm going to create an MVC example in JSP. So now I'm going to create a new project, dynamic project. JSP. There. Are you present now?
Yeah.
Okay. New JSP file. JSP. So now I'm going to create example of MVC with JSP file. Configure build path, class path, add external jar, Servlet API, apply and close. Here I'm going to create a user login page. Here we can specify the JSP method is equal to post username input type is equal to text and name is equal to uname password pwd. After that, input type is equal to submit, value is equal to login. Okay, we want to receive this value in controller. So okay, first of all I'm going to execute it and check it's working or not. Okay, now I'm going to create. If you want to perform MVC with JSP, so as a controller, we will use Servlet. We will not use JSP for security reason. So Servlet, Servlet, com dot cts dot controller. It's a demo. Click on next. This is a next. Remove the selection of duplicate. Currently I'm using to post. Okay. So here we have no need to declare here JSP because we are using Servlet. And string USR is equal to request dot get parameter uname string is equal to request dot get parameter pwd And now we can create the print writer out is equal to response dot get writer and here we have need to okay. Now we are going to create dynamic page. So print HTML and body and body HTML because this is servlet, so we have need to declare this. After that, here we can check it if first of all we have need to put the value in the object of model class. So we are going to create a class, specify here model, class name is users, okay, private string, username, private string, password, and generate okay. Now we can put the all values in the object of users obj is equal to new users okay. After that obj dot set username usr obj dot set password pss okay. After that we can check it. We can get this value from the object. So obj dot get username dot equals here admin. You can specify any username and password and obj dot get password dot equals and here I've declared admin at the rate 1 2 3 as you like. You can declare any password okay. And again you are going to use request dispatcher rd is equal to request dot get request dispatcher, specify the file name. Suppose here file name is a success dot JSP file. We are going to use JSP file and here rd dot forward request response okay. And if condition will false, so it will call error.jsp okay, error.jsp. So we have made the file of success and error.jsp So here,
One question here.
yes, yes.
So, in order to call GSP, servlet is important, or like instead of servlet, can we make that also like a GSP file,
As a
like the
controller,
demo.java? The demo.java is a servlet
servlet,
controller.
yes.
So instead of that, can we make something like demo.jsp also?
You can make it, but for security reason, we are using servlet at the place of controller. But you can use JSP because JSP you can see here it shows at the place of front end pages.
Okay, but I mean this is also extension of servlet only. So is there any security issue here if you use it like demo.jsp?
Yes, here you can save this demo.jsp, demo.java anywhere. But if you want to create JSP files, it will create here in web app. We cannot create anywhere.
Okay.
So in front end,
Why?
we use JSP file. That is the JSP file characteristics. We cannot create anywhere JSP file.
Oh, it's like only for like front end.
Yes. So correct. We are using JSP file as a front end only.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And in future, we use uh, Spring and Spring Boot any other. So uh, in this framework, also we will use JSP as a front end. Okay. In back end, we use Servlet, but in Spring, like suppose we want to use a Spring. So here we suppose here we are using a simple method only for MVC. But suppose we want to insert the record in the database and we want to perform some different operations. Suppose we want to insert the record in the database, we want to fetch the record in the database, we want to update the record in the database, we want to delete the record. We can perform a lot of functionalities. So we will create the separate servlet for each functionalities. But in Spring, we will create an in one class and perform only the service method of servlet. So you can say the controller is a collection of service method. We use it as in Spring or Spring Boot, anywhere in project. We will use only service method. Uh, and we will create a collection, a controller class, and that contains a lot of function. And each function will work as a service method. Okay, so basically we use servlet because we can store servlet anywhere in your system. But JSP, that is a mandatory, we can save in only, it will save if you want to create anywhere, but it will save in web app. We cannot save anywhere JSP file. Okay,
Okay.
so we can use only JSP as a front end, but we can create a controller class controller. As a controller, we can use JSP, but we are not using JSP as a controller. We use servlet as a controller, but servlet JSP came at the place of servlet. But servlet for security reason, we are using servlet as a controller. In front end, we are using JSP. Okay, so now this is success and JSP. So here that is a servlet. And, Okay, so if condition were true, okay, so it will call success.jc file, and it should be print on the screen. Okay, if condition will false, so error.jsp should be execute, and it will show the username and password are incorrect. Okay, now I'm going to execute it. So for this purpose index, I think I already executed it. Yes, here we can specify this. Click on login, and demo is not available. I'm going to check here. It's a demo and servlet. Servlet. Here we are using the ghost demo. Yes, exists. That is here. Text. Again, I'm going to this. Demo is not available. Demo. Okay, that is the one problem. We have that is servlet actually, so we have need to execute it again. Next, finish the server. Yes. Next, let's restart the server. Okay, so here we can input the values and click on log. And correct username and password. Here we declare admin password as an admin 123 click on log. Okay. So this is a way of if you want to develop a MVC with JSP. So view we use view as a JSP, and model class for class file, and for controller we use servlet. Okay, so that is the example of JSP MVC. It's okay.
Yeah, sir, it's okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to share it. Take it if you have any doubt, any queries, you can share.
Sure, sir. You can send the video also. I'll go through
Okay.
it.
Okay. Thank you, Abbas.